Hi, I'm Barbara Robbins,
And I'm Breanna Cox.
and together we are the Awakened Woman. Welcome to our podcast. Today's topic is breaking free from a scarcity mindset, tools for shifting into an abundance mindset. So, Brianna, to get started, what is a scarcity mindset?
I would say scarcity mindset, we've all dealt with it. It's the belief, the feeling, or the mentality that there isn't enough. We aren't enough. There isn't enough time. There isn't enough money. There isn't enough to go around. It can create feelings of competition. It can create feelings of inadequacy. It can create feelings of low self-worth. And it can also perpetuate not having. So when we're coming from that energy of, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, or I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, then we perpetuate that reality. It's what I call the five of coins or the five of pentacles in the tarot deck, which is what I consider the representation of this mentality. And the best way to address this mentality is to find the root of where it began. When did we first start feeling this way? Are we able to track it back to a specific moment in time? Was it the way we were raised? Was an event that happened? Or does it even go beyond into maybe some ancestral root mentalities of, not having enough and having to do this and having to do that? And that's what I would basically say. And like, that's how I would define it. And in order for us to have an abundant existence, we have to understand that the universe reflects back to us what we put out. And so if we are constantly worried about struggle and worried about not having enough, we're going to perpetuate that reality. But if we understand that there's always enough, there's always enough time, there's always enough wealth, there's always enough energy, there's always enough love. We don't have to fight for it, we don't have to compete for it. It just simply is. We have to tap into it. We have to attract it by understanding that it is already ours as long as we believe that it is ours.
I have a friend whose refrigerator is packed to the gills, even though she lives by herself. And it turns out it's from growing up really poor and not having had enough to eat. And so even though she winds up throwing out a lot of the stuff that's in her refrigerator, her way of feeling food secure is to have the refrigerator packed. She
Mhm.
hoards food.
That's common too. Ironically, I feel like people that suffer from lack mentality actually can sometimes suffer from gluttony in a way, hoarding, obsessive compulsive disorder, things of that nature. It has a very similar root. And so if you look at the psychology of somebody that hoards, for example, whether it's food or it's not wanting to throw things away, leaving things stacked up in the home, whether it is binge eating or binge drinking, even these can be not just forms of escapism, but also forms of scarcity mindset as well. If we feel like we have to do this now and we have to hold on to this, or we have to do this in excess because we don't know when we're going to get it again, same thing with excessive spending or gambling. It's that energy of like, this might be my only opportunity. That all comes from the same energy of being afraid of not having enough, being afraid of not having our needs met. And so according to, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if we don't have the basic needs met, because this is really ruled by the root chakra, right? If
Mhm.
we don't have the basic needs met, we're not able to evolve past that. So if we aren't able to master like that five of pentacles energy and rise up to six of pentacles, which is the energy of receiving, understanding that we can receive from the universe, and that we're open to receive in unexpected ways in all ways, right? If we can't transition from 5 to 6, then we're going to have a hard time climbing that hierarchy, or I don't really like the word climbing, ascending or spiraling up, or really ascending through those energy points in our bodies, those meridians, those chakra points. So, in other words, how can we expect to be able to manifest wealth or attract wealth at a higher dimensional level, or from like a high frequency, or being able to imagine and attract as a result, when we haven't mastered the lower chakras, the base chakras, having to do with feeling safe, having to do with feeling secure, having to do with having a strong, stable foundation. So that's why it's really important for us to be able to address these wounds, address where they began, and be able to move past it.
I was just thinking that there are some really cool tools to use to shift into an abundance mindset. I can't talk now. Into an abundance mindset. I'm holding my words. Do I have a scarce? Oh my God. Maybe that's why I have a hard time talking because I think I can never find the right words. Oh my God. So so when I do talk, it gets all mashed up because I think I have a scarce. Hmm. I have to think
Interesting.
about. That's interesting.
I feel like we all deal with it at some point, like in different areas, and maybe even after we feel like we mastered it, we might come back to it. And I just feel like that's the healing journey.
Yeah, because we always come back to stuff. Almost never over with. So different
Right?
layers to deal with. Yeah.
Yep.
S- So, tools that I found that are good for helping to shift into an abundance mindset. I still can't say it.
Awesome. It's okay. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay,
One more time, Barbara.
I have an energetic issue with an abundance mindset. All right, I just did some work on myself for that. Okay, anybody listening just that has the same issues with an abundance mindset. Oh my God, I'm feeling it in my throat, man. Okay, so
Oh, that was
you just
interesting.
got
We're
the
talking about Jonathan Goldman, folks, in the throat chakra from Chakra Chance too. And that just, I remember when I said I like
uh
throat and third eye. For some reason, I think I said that for a reason. So if you get a chance to check that out, because I think you
oh
might.
yeah, I just yawned too. When I the only time I yawn some kind of energy shifting these days.
Ooh,
So I
yes.
just yawned. So
I feel like
are we
laughing,
ever
you're
gonna get
clearing
to
things. I feel like as you're laughing, you're clearing things too. I really do. Every time you do it, I feel your energy shift higher. I feel like you're clearing stuff. It's like you're laughing it off, like, haha, no. Like, I'm abundant.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like that energy clearing through. I like that.
And that's one of the reasons why my business is called Healing is Fun.
Oh. Let's
Because
talk
it
about
is.
that. Let's talk about
It
that.
is.
How can we tie the healing is fun into our topic today? Like, 'cause I think you're supposed to talk about that and laughing. Something about laughing, if you feel, if that resonates, if you feel like connecting all three of those things. I don't know, but it was just popped in my head.
Well, I think, well, no, I don't think I know when you're laughing, you can't feel down. You can't feel scarcity. You can't feel a
Ah,
lack.
that
You know,
makes
think
sense.
about that one was it Norman Cousins who cured himself of cancer, was it? By just watching all these movies that made him laugh. I don't remember
That
who it
checks
was.
out.
It's a really long time ago.
I've
Yeah.
heard such things, but I'm lacking in the details of the moment as well. It's kind of escaping me, but yes, I resonate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, more clearing. Great. I love
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
Let's talk about the
Whew.
tools. I want to hear these. I want to hear about some of these tools, and we could each share our own individual tools we've used. I love it. I love it.
whenever I go to my osteopath, who I've known for maybe 15 years, and we're like sisters kind of, like we nudge each other and poke at each other and like, no, you can't have that, that's mine, or like, I'm better than you. But we're always laughing. In fact, she was trying to take my blood pressure the other day, and we couldn't get a reading because we kept on laughing. Okay, tools to shift into an abundance mindset. I said it. I said it.
Ooh, see?
The the Thank you. The first one is gratitude. And that gratitude actually changes your brain chemistry.
This is my favorite one, by the way. I would say gratitude. I have this thing where I try to say at least three things every day that I'm grateful for, three things that I'm proud of, and then I had to do my affirmations. And it really helps. It really, really helps.
I've also heard someone say that when you think that you're not moving as quickly as you'd like to with your business, um, or that to sit down and list all the things that you've accomplished since January 1st.
Ooh, I like that. That is really
Yeah,
good for our listeners that are new business owners, or maybe they've had a business for a while, but maybe they don't feel like it's growing fast enough or expanding fast enough. Like that's really good advice. I like that a lot.
yeah.
What do you feel like
And
have
the
been the
second,
tools for you that have been like I know you have the tools on your mind, but I'm just curious, like which ones do you feel have helped you the most in your journey?
it depends, it depends on the day, of course.
Mhm.
It's like you don't only listen to one kind of music because you're not always in the
Right.
mood. Yeah. What's helped? Well, there have been times and we talked about this in a previous podcast, the jar system that I've used for money management. And every
Yes.
time I put some money in there, I say thank you. And that wasn't part of the original system, but I've added thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you, thank you. And for the play jar, when I say thank you, I say woohoo. Well, I say it better than that. Thank you, woohoo, because I'm playing. And so that makes me feel playful, and that's great. Um, it's also when I'm down, I like to try and remember to feel the feeling of my desired lifestyle, just to get into that feeling. When I'm thinking about it though, the thing that seems to work the best for me, because I'm a real, like, deep thinking intensely person, and I'm so focused on, I mean, I can laugh, obviously, I find things funny, but my default state is like really serious and going very, very deep. And I have a friend that when I mean, there have been we were doing the jar system together because it's more fun to do it, and it's easier to do it when you're doing it with somebody. So last year we were doing that together, so we were talking with each other like every day to do these jars. And there I remember this one time we were doing it on Zoom too, so we could see each other. And I'm in a very, very serious mood, and I I was sitting there waiting for him, and I was actually getting mad at him because he was late. And it's like, buddy, this is one too many times that you're late. This will not do. And all of a sudden his screen comes on, and he's at this really weird angle, like his head is now popping up on a diagonal from the side of the screen. And And he had this really goofy smile on his face. And I just cracked up. And like, I was no longer upset about anything. And he somehow, because he's such a jester, not even realizing it, he just always makes me laugh. And that pulls me out of whatever deep intensity that I'm in. Because I told him this a couple of weeks ago. I said, my default is, I mean, my deep, deep, dark default part is like being a beatnik or a goth, all dressed in black, sitting in the back of the cafe. Where in the cafe, it's they're doing what is like poetry reading or something like that. Uh, so I'm sitting in the back of this cafe where this poetry reading is going on, and I'm sitting at the table, all in black, and I'm smoking a cigarette, and I'm judging people. That's my default
Now, do you
deep.
have a Jack Kerouac book in your hand as this is going on?
No, there's a cup of coffee on the table, and I'm smoking the cigarette. That's all. Because I'm an
I like the
observer. I like to
image.
watch people. So I'm watching all the people around, and I'm judging everybody. So that's
Aren't you also like isn't that part of your Myers-Briggs? Or don't you have judging as part of it, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't know. Do
I
I?
think we had talked
Oh,
about that, or
oh,
it might be.
judging. I don't think of Myers. I don't think of the J as, I just think of that as wanting closure. But yeah, I'm an INFJ, and J is
Okay.
judging, stands for
And
judging.
that's funny because I'm an INFP. So we have we're very similar except for that last part, the way we process information. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So, and I can't be that when he's around. He's just jumping around, playing his guitar, just cracking jokes. He just does all these stupid dad jokes all the time. And I just groan like, oh God, that's so stupid. But I can't be, I can't be upset. I can't be in scarcity mentality with somebody with him
I
around.
like that you mentioned time because that's one that I deal with. That's one I have to keep an eye on. And I think it's because of all my Saturnian placements. Like I have a lot of Capricorn placements, a lot of Aquarius placements. And so for me, sometimes I can be funny about time, like being worried about people wasting my time, being fixated on, people being on time, me being on time. Like if someone's not on time, they don't value me. These types of thought processes I've had to really work on and understanding that yes, discipline is good. That type of masculine structure is good, but we need that feminine flow. And like you said, playful creativity. And him, that's like an example of him bringing you back in your feminine energy and bringing you back in your abundance energy because you're no longer thinking to yourself, oh, well, he's late. So, like, running out of time energy, right? Or
Yeah, yeah.
wasting my time energy. Yeah. Because, like, time, there's always time. There's always space and time for us to exist in. And so I love that you brought up time because that's one that I've personally had to work on, So I really resonate with that. And I really resonate with some of the tools that you gave. I would love to hear more.
Okay, I'll tell you another one. The second one is rewiring negative thoughts.
That's one of my favorites too.
Oh. So instead of saying I never have enough, say I always attract opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And we can change that into an affirmation of, why do I always attract opportunities? It's by Noah St. John. He came up with this. Affirmations are, the way that they're phrased, they're like, why do I always attract? Like the affirmation would be, I always attract opportunities. But in your gut, in your heart, no, I don't always attract opportunities, right? Why do I always attract opportunities? Your brain and all that is kicks in and goes, "Oh my God, she thinks she's always attracting opportunities. We have to do something. We have to give her more opportunities because she believes that she's always attracting opportunities." See? Simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The simple switch is really focusing on yourself and pampering yourself the way you'd want someone else to. That really does kickstart it because it puts you in a receptive feminine energy. And once you're in a receptive feminine energy, you start believing that you deserve more because the more you do for yourself, the more you start believing you deserve more. And the more you start believing you deserve more, the more you start seeing the abundance. Not to say that the affirmations don't work or that affirmations don't work, just saying like it really is as simple as turning inward in that sense and just treating yourself the way you would want others to treat you and pampering yourself. I know it sounds crazy. I know it just sounds like it's too simple, but that honestly creates a mega shift in scarcity mentality based on my personal experience, just mega shift, right? Like immediately. I know you've got some more. I know you got some more that you probably wanted to talk about. I'm pretty sure you got some others, and I think as many as we can get people that have worked for us personally would work because also because different things may work for different people. So if we have a lot of different types of tools we can talk about, then that way people can try a variety of different things and what works for them they can customize
Yeah.
to fit them.
So I'll just the three others are visualization and feeling abundant now, practicing generosity and flow, and taking inspired action.
Yeah.
So what's one abundance practice do you think people could do this coming week?
To implement a small change, I would say sitting in sensory pleasure, finding one thing that creates sensory pleasure, because if we're talking about feminine energy and everything being tied to magnetizing in a way that's different, going back to like the last few episodes and tying into this one, when we stop and do something like you were saying earlier, playful or creative, when we stop and we're not as serious and we're just enjoying the moment, whether that's laughing or smelling a rose or having a sip of coffee, feeling our toes on the grass or having a bubble bath, whatever it may be for whoever, a simple act like that can really get you in touch with your state of abundance because you're taking pleasure in something. And when you take pleasure in something, the universe wants to give you more.
Yeah. And that's what we're here for, isn't it? Or just to love, give pleasure, to be pleasured, to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What would you say
Oh,
for
I really dig that affirmation. Why do I always attract any kind of I love affirmations so much. Why do I really, I swear to God, I even have a note on my computer of things to say every day. Why do I always attract opportunities? Or maybe why am I? Oh, why am I? I like that better.
why am I so abundant? Or why do I always have so much?
Why am I or why do I? Anything that starts with why. Well, listeners, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our topic today, our conversation. Next time, we'll be discussing navigating financial conversations with confidence, tips for women to handle money talks with ease in personal and professional settings. And until next time, I'm Barbara,
And I'm Brianna.
and we are the Awakened Woman.